It's Wednesday night. You know what that means.
What's it mean, Mav?
We're missing Dynamite. That's exactly what that means. But we are the Triple B Experience. I'm Gary D. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Triple B himself, Bad Bubba Brewer. And last but very not least, Cable.
What's up, guys?
How are we doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, Bubba, you seem a little sour tonight. I'm just, observing.
What's that?
You look a little sour tonight.
No, I don't think so.
You're okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's the holiday stuff, trying to get everything done. There's not enough time in the day to get stuff done, and then, there's just not enough time. Not enough time, and still recovering from the Minnesota Viking fucking defeat, and all other stuff. You. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Give me some ice cream sandwiches and a 6-pack of icy lighters.
What about a Blizzard? Blizzard? Would that do the trick?
What's that?
Blizzard.
I don't know. I don't know anymore. Nothing does the trick anymore. I know it does the trick, but this is...
Man. Okay, we're off to a good start. Cable, how's it going with you, my man?
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to rub anything in, but apparently better. It's hard to follow that. I'm doing all right.
I mean, we are on the eve of a major Marvel motion picture coming out, right?
Big things.
So I'm excited about that. But yeah, Bubs, we're not going to kill your,
Oh, I'm good. I'm ready. I'm going tomorrow night. I'm going to go on a day before you guys are.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, son of a bitch.
Well, I'd rather have tickets, or I'm going to probably kick somebody out of a seat or something.
You probably should have got them a little early.
I know, but it's Indiana.
Cable and I.
It's Indiana.
That's true.
I don't think it's going to be sold out. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Well.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you might. The only reason you might run into trouble is because it's the very first night. The preview night, but still, you'll probably be all right.
I'll call though. I'll call.
Yeah.
I won't spoil it for anybody.
Yeah, we know you. But we are the Triple B trio. This is unscripted. We are uncut, uncensored, again,
and raw.
Unscripted.
Raw.
So no. Again, we don't use that term here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So yeah, we don't use the word raw.
Heated.
So. but anyway.
Okay.
So, gentlemen, just real quick, why don't we, before we get into the good stuff, we had a little bit of a brief discussion that I wish we would have caught on air about wrestling. So just let's take 5 minutes before we get into that, and then I'll hit the timer and we can talk about the rest of the stuff that you guys really want to talk about. So,
well, I mean, I talked before when we were off the site there about Kevin Owens signing, and I said, well, maybe it's best for him because AEW is oversaturated right now, and I'm not I like AEW, but I'm not as great as it once was. Overly pumped up. I don't know.
To me, I just can't believe he signed with them again. He did a lot of complaining for the longest time and made it very well known that he was very unhappy. Maybe, I get it. He's a dad. Maybe it's easier for him just to stay with them and then retire. But I think, I mean, Bubba, you watched the Ring of Honor pay-per-view and you saw the way it ended. And I, like I said, and I mentioned this to you guys, I think they'll be back. And I think there's going to be potential with AEW and Ring of Honor and possibly, New Japan again. Ring of Honor has always had a good relationship with them.
Well, I think they can do Ring of Honor stuff. I think they're just going to have independent contractors now, and they're not going to have anybody with any contracts. So, I mean, for a guy that sold his company, he was, Gary was just jumping up and hugging people and stuff, you know what I mean? And FTR showing up for the Briscoes. That's going to be huge. Yeah. And I always like Braun Strowman. I don't care what anybody says, or the Titan or whatever his name is. I mean, I always liked him as a person. I don't know him. It's not like I hung out with him, but just, I like a big guy like that. And he's teamed up with EC3. And as of today, Killer Cross is in their stable, I believe now. Because Killer Cross said that Scarlett said they're not going back to Impact Wrestling, and Scarlett is going to have an OnlyFans page.
Oh, Bubba, man!
I'm not paying for that, but I mean, she's well, it's something. They did not use her to her ability, and she can wrestle.
She just she tweeted out something the other day because we had another discussion about action figures when we were in pre-pro, as the professionals call it. And
well, you are professional.
yeah, well, we're getting there.
Yeah.
And
someday.
They have a Scarlet figure coming out, and I believe it's too far along for them to cancel it now. And she tweeted something out that this is her third figure in 2 years without ever wrestling a match. That's pretty good. And that is crazy that she was there for that long and she never got to wrestle a single match.
Terrible.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean,
terrible.
I'm sure there's been worse.
New version of Miss Elizabeth and Savage right there with those two. And they dropped the ball on that. Just my opinion.
I don't know. That might be a little bit of a stretch.
I mean, he doesn't have the athletic ability of a macho man, but also too with the added extra of Scarlet, that added something to stuff he didn't have on Raw. You know,
I mean, I would go Shane Douglas and Francine maybe. She's not, you know, she'll show it off and everything.
Well, hey.
Of course, Elizabeth did take off the skirt the one time and show off the old lady bathing suit back in.
Yeah, she did. She did.
Hey, that was hot stuff back then. That was risky.
Dude, that blew people's minds.
Yeah.
Wrestling, guys, it's going to get hot because the Rumble's coming up, and when it gets that close, a lot of stuff goes down, and maybe AEW. Like, I mean, where's Bray Wyatt? What's he doing? He's down at the convenience store, like getting a Slurpee.
Dude, yeah.
Thing. What the
he
fuck?
Just seems like he does not have any interest at the moment, which, you know, like there was when all this speculation was hot and his contract was up, I was thinking there was a chance he might go to Impact because I think Bray Rotunda he's more interested in where he can go and tell a story and be a character than actually put work into matches. Mm-hmm. You know, he was never the best wrestler or anything like that.
Oh, no, I beg the difference. I thought he was pretty good.
He was okay. No, I mean, he was okay, but like, I don't think he would match up well with a lot of guys in AEW. Like, AEW is the work rate promotion for me. That's where guys go that want to wrestle. And I kind of think that's maybe why Kevin Owens didn't go there. I think KevinOwens wants to, said, just take it easy.
I don't know because Kevin Owens used to work that work rate in the Ring of Honor back in the day.
He did. He was great.
He's a little older now.
I mean, he's getting up there and he's been watered down by WWE. But I think, you know, a lot of people that are going to AEW, one of the selling points is because they want to go and have great matches with other wrestlers, you know. And
they want to be a wrestler again, not a sports entertainer, flat out.
Exactly.
I mean, exactly what it is.
Not a superstar.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And it's just like, I mean, come on. I mean, that all those guys that were in WWE came from Ring of Honor anyway. And those guys, that's what they learned their craft. They let them work for more than 5-10 minutes, you know, like it.
And all their matches didn't look the same. Like when you watch a WWE show, man, it is rough.
Yeah.
Well,
they've been there, done that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've reached the pinnacle, so to speak, or at least as kids growing up, everybody wanted to go WWE.
Well, they don't have developmental stuff now.
Well,
they don't have any developmental stuff now. They can't develop anybody except for what the cookie cutter WWE, because they signed like 13 people that had like college, like track and field stars.
You see that?
Yeah. 5'9".
Oh my God.
So
I also read today that they contact MJF and they wanted to try to recruit him and bring him over because they really got interest because of him and the whole Punk, you know, stuff that's been going on. But
yeah, and he can talk, so WWE's interested in that, you know.
But he's undersized, right? And what'll happen is he'll go to WWE and they won't know what to do with them, and it'll be a waste of time.
But he'll be watered down. He would be watered down going up to the
he couldn't say he would be a shell of himself in AEW.
He's using that for a power trip to get more money.
Oh yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I mean, it is what it is.
Wow, we're getting people on the Facebook site. They've been talking. I think Craig and Shane, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Hey guys.
We'll definitely talk some Marvel here, and
but
that's the big thing.
Just one more thing that I just wanted to allude to, Bubba. You were talking about Ric Flair and said they didn't hit 1 million views and stuff like that. Again, I'm just going to repeat what I said, to you before.
I understand.
There's, and nothing on you. I'm talking.
No.
I'm talking directly to Ric Flair here.
Mav is going to call Ric Flair out right now on all of this bullshit.
Go ahead. Well, you know what? Then somebody's listening, and it could get back to Mark Madden. Because we're both in Western Pennsylvania, because our studio is way better than his. Because when Madden does it with Flair, because I listen to it, you hear like I don't know if Madden's eating a fucking bologna sandwich to the side. I don't know, but I know that with Flair, it's tailor made, but it's also Mark trying to get his jollies off. But
yeah.
I've listened to it, and I do like Flair, and there's a lot of stories.
I always like Flair.
There's a lot of stories he can't tell, which he don't care anymore. He's like, I don't care. I'll tell him.
Well, going back to what you said, that he said was, they're
That's
not.
What he said. That's what he said. He said they didn't get 1 million with all the guys they signed. He goes, those guys with the CM Punk didn't move the meter up. He said.
No, I beg to differ on that. Like I said, there's not a wrestling company that's doing even close to that right now. And not only that,
well, 1 million. WWE is still doing a little over 1 million.
But it goes back to
yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't think they were.
Well, yeah. I didn't think they were either. But here's where it really matters.
Better than Raw.
It's the big thing is your demographic, not your general. And I know they're not doing AEW. For steadily beating them in 18 to 49, which is the most important demographic.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, so
shoot on Flair.
May
go ahead, Mav.
Well, May 30. I'm just looking up stats here, and I'm just going like May 31st, 2021. They did 1.5, so they did hit that, but I don't know what. Why isn't it giving me?
And Monday night's probably competing with a lot of Monday Night Football because some of the, you know what I mean.
But anyway, I disagree with that. I don't think there's,
That's good because if you're listening and then Madden be like, yeah, that fucking some podcast just disagrees with the Flair. What are you going to do? Woo! That's what he's going to say.
I mean, honestly, like you're looking, I told you, Punk and Brian, they want to be wrestlers. They want to be wrestlers. Wrestling fans watch AEW. Casual fans watch WWE. And they're not even getting to casual fans anymore because there's no Rock, there's no Austin, wrestling is not a hot commodity like it was.
Well, if you went to anybody off the street and you would say AEW or WWE, what would they say?
WWE, because it's got the name recognition, unless you're really into the wrestling world.
And then you ask them, okay, can you name me a wrestler? And they're going to say, Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin, The Rock, none of them which wrestle anymore. But that's my point. They're going to give you a blast. A casual fan is going to watch or talk about a blast from the past. They're not even going to be talking about anything that's relevant in WWE right now because they don't watch. But wrestling fans watch AEW. And they want to watch wrestling. They want to see wrestlers. They want to see good matches. So, I didn't expect for them to get over 1 million. Do I think they'll get there? I don't know. Maybe
they should. They should eventually.
But I don't think they even were counting on Punk and Daniel Bryan and them to hit that rating. You know what I mean?
I would hope they would.
I don't know. I don't think they did.
I would hope
because why wasn't Ring of Honor the AEW before AEW was even thought of then?
Because they never had national TV.
Yeah, but they have all the same wrestlers, and WWE took.
I understand that, but they didn't have national TV.
Yeah, Ring of Honor was hot at one point.
It was hot. It was.
But they were with all the same wrestlers, so I can't expect like AEW to be signing Punk and Daniel Bryan and expect to hit all these.
Well, I just got Shane Stodler said true. I'm a casual fan, but AEW all day, WWE is hot garbage. But I don't know. But I don't know many AEW wrestlers.
Well, I mean,
good enough for me.
I mean,
well, thanks, Shane. You backed up Mav on his point, so
thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah. Anyway, that's all I wanted to.
Yeah, we got. Yeah, no, that's good though. That's great. That's awesome.
It's nice to get some wrestling talk. Yeah.
They talked about the big match tonight, and we didn't talk about it, guys. because we have it on, but we didn't want to talk about it because we're going to watch it later on. But it is going to be probably a match that might get 1 million views tonight.
Yeah,
so there we go.
Bank on. I hope it does. I hope it does because
AEW,
they deserve it. I think those guys bust their ass in and out of the locker room, and I think
TV keeps blurring out. But hey, fuck it. But anyway,
way better product right now. So anyway, guys, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna hit the timer here, and then we can get into it. I'll give you guys a little extra time tonight.
Thanks. Woo.
But anyway, okay, we're on the clock. Who wants to get us started?
I think Bubba should start. I usually kick off MCU. So.
Okay, well, the MCU, I just saw episode 5 of Hawkeye, and I am one of the biggest Hawkeye fans in the comic book, and I do like this TV show, but I don't know how the fuck they're going to finish everything up in one episode. There's too much shit going on. They're only going to have
a cliffhanger.
There's no season 2 unless they take it over to Echo, which Echo storyline will be part of her new TV series, I'm sure. Okay. But I mean, they started it off good. They did, Cable. They started it off good.
When they, absolutely.
When they had it went right to the blimp.
Well,
boom.
That was amazing. That was great.
I know you guys love when I pull out the IMDb ratings, but I always like to compare and see. And this episode was the highest rating at an 8.9 out of all 5.
This episode was supposed to be so hot it was going to blow up the internet, though, too. And I'm sure it did. I mean,
I liked it. I thought maybe it was a little slow at times.
I liked it too, but I don't know how they're going to end everything. Like, there's one episode left, and I don't know how the fuck they're going to end it in 45 minutes.
Yeah, and to that point, I think there was a lot of dialogue in this, and and I was surprised by that. But it was meaningful dialogue. Don't get me wrong. I didn't hate on it. I thought it was a good episode.
No, I didn't hate it either.
I was a little surprised, but I was hoping a little bit more for the ending, like instead of a cell phone picture, right?
Spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't watched it yet. Real quick, we'll throw that out there also. If you haven't seen the newest episode, we're going to spoil it. But did you know what was coming, Gary? Because me and Bubba did, and we tried to keep it under wraps because we don't want to ruin it for you.
Actually, I think it didn't dawn on me until I actually saw it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I heard Bubba talking about that.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I don't get in the trenches too much like you guys do.
Well,
but I knew who he was. I knew.
Oh man,
I
get phenomenal. That's phenomenal. Yeah. But like Craig said, some folks are not happy with the Kingpin reveal due to being a still picture.
Yeah, I wanted to see. You'll see him.
You'll see him next episode.
Yeah, I mean, which is fine. Like, it's fine. I'm glad I got to see him. I think it's cool.
But now it connects everything. Now it starts. Now the Kingpin can. I mean, and if you saw at the end of the credits, like when they do the cartoon stuff from the comic book at the end credits, they have the figure of fucking Kingpin over the city.
Yeah, and you probably noticed, Gary, but I just want to double check because the cell phone was blurry and everything, the picture, but that is Vincent D'Onofrio reprising the role from Daredevil.
So good.
Right.
Yeah.
So good. And
now, one of the things you were talking about, Bubba, that I had heard also was that they were going to use some CGI and some prosthetics to make him even bigger.
Didn't look
like in the comics, and it didn't look like it in that picture. So I don't know. I don't know if that was all just bullshit, but
I mean, she looked just as big as him in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, he's very real person scaled.
He's a big dude, though, and when he fought Cox's character into Daredevil, like he had the fighting style of Kingpin. I don't know if you ever saw Daredevil, Mav. If you saw the season where he came in,
I didn't finish it, but I saw some.
Okay.
I saw some.
I mean, the Kingpin is a formidable individual in the comic books. I mean, his main, the person he started off with was Spiderman. He was a big Spider-Man villain, and then it went to Daredevil. So he's pulling one out.
Here we go.
He's way in the back. He's back here. He's too big.
What do you?
I
see him back there. I see his bald head.
All right.
But I also like to sit down in the apartment between them two.
Oh, I loved it. Oh no!
again, like I said, a lot of dialogue in this, but it was meaningful dialogue.
They had to
and I wasn't expecting that with only 6 episodes.
Well, yeah, he's big. See how big he is?
Yeah, see, he's big.
Yeah, he's big. And he can move too. He can
yeah.
kick ass.
Yeah. But that I was caught off guard also by the scene with Yelena and Kate Bishop. Wasn't what I expected. And I actually watched it twice.
Oh wow.
And not the whole episode, but I watched that part. And just waiting to get on here with you guys. And I don't know how I felt the first time. I know it wasn't what I expected. And then the second time around, I really liked it. Like, Florence Pugh just plays that character so good. And she's a great actress. You know, she's been good in everything I've ever seen her in. But the way that she just owns this character that really wasn't much of a character in the comics. Like, I mean, she was, but you know,
she got killed. Her character got killed in the comics and got brought back to life.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, then they brought her back.
Yeah.
Like, but she's gonna be a superstar in this role, and I hope, you know, they keep bringing her back. But yeah, they do have a lot to tie up for the next episode.
Why wouldn't they bring her back, knowing that she's going to be the Black Widow for
the
future?
Well, you know, that was kind of the way of the early MCU days, is they would bring characters in and then they don't pay off later on with them, or, you know, things like that, like smaller characters. And that was just a concern I had because I liked her so much in Black Widow, I guess. But you know, I don't know the runtime of the last episode. It might be an hour. You know, it might go longer because it's the finale.
They need to go an hour and a half because they got a lot of stuff. I mean,
I would be here for it. I'd love it.
I know. I mean, because they got the Hawkeye, and they have to reveal his wife. I'm telling you, I believe she is Mockingbird. I fucking believe she is Mockingbird, because Mockingbird was the agent and they got married, Mav, in a miniseries.
You're talking about the mom.
His mom, yeah.
Hawkeye's wife,
Hawkeye's wife, the mom of his kids.
Oh, got you. I thought you meant okay.
No,
got you.
No,
and then this is
wasn't Echo the daughter of Kingpin, or adopted daughter of Kingpin?
The adopted daughter of Kingpin. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay. And so you think is that gonna be a thing? That's not gonna be a thing.
Well, I mean, they were calling him her uncle in the show at one point. Didn't her dad say, you know, your uncle's going to take you home? In the first clip you ever saw of him, you just saw his hand in the corner of the frame, and he like put her on her shoulder, and it was the flashback episode when they were showing how her dad died and her as a little kid, and he had to go take care of business when she was at her first match.
And Hawkeye did kill him.
Yeah, he did. And he said, didn't someone say it was a swordsman dressed up as him?
Or maybe you guys didn't, but maybe I did. I don't know, because I didn't think Hawkeye went in and wiped them all out. I figured, and that.
Well, I mean, we saw him straight up kill somebody in Endgame, so it didn't. I didn't doubt.
Busted out the swords in this one.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was cool to see him in the suit again too.
Yeah. Well, she could compete with him too, so I mean, she didn't back down.
Yeah, I like that they didn't really draw attention to it, but in that fight scene, you know, he takes a swing at her with a sword and he hits her leg and it doesn't phase her. And I was like, oh yeah, prosthetic, you know, but they didn't like make a big thing. They didn't zoom in on it. Like, it was
also too, she can adapt to anybody's fighting style, just like the Taskmaster.
Yeah.
So, and then the track coats, or whatever the hell those guys are.
Tracksuit Mafia.
Yeah, those guys were
fun. Those guys are great. Yeah, I love them just casually talking about tracksuits in the van.
Yeah.
People who wore, like, yeah, they're good. Everything, you know, all the choices they've made in this show, which most of it's based off the Matt Fraction run anyway, but you know, they're killing it. Like, I love all the aspects.
At one time, you could pick it up at Ollie's for like $6 or $7.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, it's even before the show, it's known as like the best Hawkeye, you know, run in his whole history. But yeah,
Hawkeye in the comic books was a bad motherfucker, man. He was bad. He was trained by Steve Rogers, you know, trained by the swordsman, which that's the thing that makes me mad, is we're not getting any of the payoff of the swordsman in a suit, or having him his old lady turns on him. What a bitch, man.
Well, we'll see what they do with him in episode 6, and maybe he pops up somewhere else. Maybe
I'll be back, honey. I'll be back.
If they do a Thunderbolts or something, maybe they work him into that somehow.
He's good. He is so good.
He is.
If you ever seen him on Better Call Saul, he plays a fucking killer, man, and he is just spot on. Oh, it's good for him. And that role as a swordsman, he gets killed. He gets killed in the comic book. He marries Manus, and they have the celestial Madonna that she was. And he come back, but he's been dead the whole comic book stuff. I just hope he doesn't get killed, because I think he's a great character that could be some kind of something.
Well, I want to jump back to your point real quick before we move off Hawkeye, where Linda Cardellini, Hawkeye's wife, I would really enjoy if they did reveal her to be Mockingbird, and that's what that Rolex had to do with, and all this and that, because we know there's something up with her. She's speaking, in different languages and stuff. Yeah. But for a petty different reason, I would love for her to be Mockingbird, because Mockingbird was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I fucking hate that show, and I don't want it to ever.
Why?
Oh, it's so bad. It was terrible.
That last season was good.
Well, I didn't make it past season 4. It was so bad. They should have never brought Coulson back. It was cheesy. It wanted to be connected to the MCU so bad,
they messed that up. They messed
up. I didn't like it. I wasn't a fan of it. I was at the beginning, and then after a couple seasons, I didn't like it, and then I tried to give it more, and I couldn't watch it anymore.
Well, that's because they turned the Garrett guy, the bad guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Bill Paxton.
Yeah, no, the young kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, the good-looking Rico Suave dude. They turned him heel, and he joined Hydra.
Yeah. I mean, I was mostly only watching it for Quake anyway, but
yeah, she's hot. Shane Starmiller said Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was garbage. Cable is right.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
thank you.
But
that's correct. That was William Fisk.
Just gonna throw this out there, tie that up. She's definitely the most supportive wife I've ever seen.
Yeah.
If I wasn't around anywhere near Christmas,
woo! Good. She gets the award, Wife of the Year.
Man.
Yeah.
And do you guys know that she was fucking on Scooby-Doo?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Linda Cardellini. Yeah, she was Velma.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
But I'm like, she's like, I know, take your time. Do what you got to do. I know better than anybody, honey. I'm like,
well, she knows who the kingpin. Well, she knows who the kingpin is. She knows because she is Mockingbird.
Yeah.
So, and to tie this up with a bow, I mean, unless you got more, but my final thoughts,
whatever.
Just, closing it off. I know it was kind of disappointing to only see a picture off of a cell phone of Kingpin.
What did you think we're not going to see him go into a fight? We had to see him. He's in the Marvel Universe now. So MCU
that's it. That's
good.
Dude, the MCU, this is why I wanted to have a conversation with you guys off screen about making. I still got to push about making the MCU its own category for our year-end awards. But
it's a cop-out is what that is.
I don't think it is. I think the MCU is its own entity. No. I think it's too big to...
If we get into that, then we got to push Star Wars into its own category. And we got
Star Wars isn't doing nothing these days. The MCU's running the world.
No, we're not doing that. Sorry.
But anyway, so...
I love you, Cable.
You two arguing. That's great.
No. Caleb and I have ever had one argument. Well, basically one argument, and it was over chocolate ice cream. But that's about it. We don't disagree on much. But
no, yeah.
And
they're usually fun arguments.
Right. But this is fun because I just think that. Look,
we honestly, guys, we'd be there for 5 freaking hours if we.
Well, it's a year-end extravaganza. Let's marathon this son of a bitch.
If I had 5 extra hours, you know what I would be doing with that?
I'm probably sleeping,
working on the house.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But I love that if you go down through all the MCU stuff, just there's some people missing, and they'll probably get to them at some points, X-Men, stuff like that. But the list of characters that are canon to the MCU now, it's mind blowing, and it's amazing, and it's a wonderful thing they've done. Like, that's one of the reasons I get up out of bed every day is the MCU.
Well, you don't have a mockingbird at home that can, make your day?
No, I got a bird that mocks.
Oh shit! Okay. Anyway, we can talk about Hawkeye. We could transition, but just if we want to transition,
it's a great series, and this last episode, I don't know if it's gonna like the Loki stuff
stick
for
the
me.
landing. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. If I just love the character. I always have.
Well,
but I think they might have to have a little bit more than 50 minutes to get this all done.
Well, I guarantee you one thing: it is not going to be bad. It's not going to be a bad episode. They know what they're doing. They're going to package it up and send it our way, and I think it'll be great. I'm excited for it.
It's going to set up the Echo. It's going to set up the Echo show. It's going to set up the Echo show, and it's going to set Kingpin up in the crime boss era stuff, because nobody knows now that if they get this, before we move on, if he's just the big giant, no one knows that he's into crime in the MCU like he was in Daredevil. He's just a businessman that hasn't come out yet, or did they already get that out? If they have a little bit of residual. Well, go ahead.
No, you go. But I just had an epiphany. Okay. Finish your thought.
Well, they have just a residual of him in the Daredevil series when he got arrested and he was going to jail and that stuff. Does he have a little residual of that, or do they just make it clean and that is not canon in the MCU?
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to tie that up. But my grand idea that just came to me. Did we just find out who bought Avengers Tower?
Yeah.
He did.
Yep.
Maybe. Well, maybe. Who knows? It depends how established he is,
Well, he's
because in the comics he's a figurehead. He's in the public. He works in the public and behind the scenes.
No, in the comics right now, he's the mayor of New York.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go.
So this character before the Loki TV show. Him and Loki were the greatest villains in Marvel MCU. And now he'll have more stuff to do, and he's going to intertwine, and you never know. You might see him in Spider-Man.
I was going to say that. Is there a chance that that's going to happen? I mean,
I hope so.
He could be the binding force between a lot of, villains.
He is the binding force because he's got so many people under him that he hired. That
and he operates out of New York City. And
huge.
The comic origins, he was a Spider-Man villain before he, ended up being the arch rival of Daredevil. Like, it makes a lot of sense, and it's been asked. Vincent D'Onofrio said he would love to be in a Spider-Man movie. Tom Holland said he would love to have him come in and play. So it's out there. People are aware. But you can't play your hand too heavy, and
they're not going to tell. They're not putting nothing out.
Oh, right. There's enough out there from it anyway.
Right.
But yeah, I'm excited for episode 6. Bubba, you were a promoter. You still promote. You promote us, but you understand. You gotta leave people wanting more. So I don't think they're going to tie everything up. Next episode.
I don't think they are, but I just wanted to. They're going to have the big battle at the Christmas party. So the Christmas party is going to be just like Die Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I wish that MCU would do more. I like to see 10 episodes on all these shows to build stuff up.
Yeah, I think 10 is good.
Yeah, because it gives us 10 weeks to do stuff.
Even 8 would be.
Yeah. 8 to 10. 6
like
less.
Sopranos always did 10, and they were an hour-long show. That's just a good round. That's a good way to write TV, and especially without commercials, you can just do 10-hour story and break it into 10 parts. But
I mean, speaking of like episode numbers, like for the Book of Boba Fett, which Craig just mentioned, But for the Book of Boba Fett, I'm still not sure exactly how many episodes, because originally I heard it was only going to be 3.
Nah, there's no way they could have just 3.
But well, that's what they were. It was going to be an extension of the Mandalorian, is what it was.
Okay.
And then they recorded it at the same time. But now Mandalorian's nowhere close to being released. So, I don't know if what is it, 6? Is it 8? What are we looking at here? I don't know.
Star Wars right now is so huge because of the character of the Crimson Dawn, and now has hit every single comic book. And I know we did I have not even finished the bounty hunter thing. I haven't finished that. I haven't got to it yet.
I never did.
I got comic books over comic books that I haven't even finished yet. But now it's the Crimson Dawn has taken over into the Star Wars comic books. I went to the store today, and it was the issue 1 with Crimson Dawn with that girl on the front cover. So that's a big character now in the comic books that will probably maybe a big character in these shows, especially Obi-Wan and something. Like this Star Wars stuff, well, you guys made me mad last time we talked about it with Kathleen Kennedy. I'm not going to even discuss that. But I mean, I can't wait because that's going to be a good with the Book of Boba Fett for me, and then Cobra Kai,
which I never watched. So
same here.
You know why you two fuckers don't watch?
Because we weren't alive for Karate Kid.
That's right, and that is the true fucking. Ralph Macchio was a heel in that movie. Johnny Lawrence was the face. If you watch it, they turned it all around in the TV show. Johnny Lawrence is the face, and Macchio is the fucking dick.
Which one did Jaden Smith play?
What? Oh, that was a remake. That's a remake.
I was just busting your chops. Get out of here.
But the real reason I don't watch it is because I don't have time. But I would watch it. I just...
I do it late at night at like 11 o'clock at night because I don't go to bed.
I gotta be in bed by.
I work on 3 to 4 hours of sleep, man.
Dude, I can't do that. That kills me.
This is coming from you, not me. I'm not saying. What I'm saying is, you sat around and ate pizza today.
I did. I did.
I'd like to do that. I mean, but I need a little bit more of sleep.
I'm sorry.
Well, I don't sleep much anyway, but I need a little bit more.
I like to do a lot more stuff too. I mean, but I research the podcasting stuff. I do that.
Well, I'm watching a show now on Netflix. If we go ahead and have a best animated series category for the year end, I think I got mine. I'm not the whole way through it. I don't know if you guys have seen it on Netflix's like homepage or anything. It's called Arcane.
I haven't.
Oh,
it's phenomenal.
Tammy's daughter loves that because they have a character named Jenks.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's so good. It's based off of a video game. Like it comes from a video game. It's like a prequel, but I've never played it. I don't know it. Everything I heard is you don't have to know anything about the video game, but the art in it, like the art direction, is
art's good.
Beautiful.
Those figures are expensive. I've seen.
Ooh. Yeah, I haven't even seen them, but like
Santa Claus is gonna bring a few of those to your house, Bubs.
No. What?
Okay. No.
I might.
The figure.
I might have one.
Daughter likes it. I thought maybe Santa Claus was gonna bring her one. Okay.
Depending on how things go for. Depending on how things go for Christmas, I might have a big unboxing to do.
We're talking about an action figure. What are you talking about?
I'm loud in my house. The whole fucking house is like, oh my god.
Well, we're not.
Podcast. They can't hear me. I know. Right?
No, they can't hear you. They can hear me.
Well, yeah. Well, just don't say anything.
I don't half the time.
I might have a Christmas unboxing. I don't know. I made my list. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's 9 episodes long. I'm 6 episodes in, and it's just fantastic.
You'll be done by the time we do our year-end awards. Wow, Craig said it's absolutely a great series.
Yeah, see? He's up on it.
He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, dude, it's phenomenal. And I know it's hard for Canis. Yep. Yes, I was. You have to tune in when we're going to do an end of the year special with our favorite TV shows and stuff like that. And it's probably too late in the game for anything else to surpass it. But it depends if it sticks a landing. I still got 3 episodes left, but I just wanted to shout that out real quick, and I'll go into detail at our end of the year show. But
I think that end of the year show is going to be, we're going to have fun. we're gonna toast the podcast show, and we were putting out tons of. Hey, we did a lot from April to now. So
yeah.
I mean,
it's been an exciting
we've
little more than half a year.
Well, we haven't done as much. We're a little bit during the holidays, and it's
that happens.
It's what it is. We're still doing.
I slowed us down too a little bit, but that's life.
Yep, that's life. And then we just do this year round. We eat popcorn and give our.
I love popcorn. I'm just saying.
No, that's good. I have a popcorn maker at home. But yeah, we just. I think I've never done this before. It'd be good. You know what I mean? It could be a yearly thing that we do. I just wish a couple other shows were out before we do it.
That'll be around for next year. It's almost you got to start making a list, because I don't even remember what I watched at the beginning of the year. So
I actually had to do that. I had to go back through and look at what movies were released, especially with COVID. It's hard to remember now.
Right.
But
the sad thing is, guys, and not to give away any of my picks, because I'm not. I still got to go through them, but I don't. Like I said, my time's kind of limited. So the only movies that I've really gotten to watch were the ones that were for this podcast, or that I like Marvel and stuff, and I didn't even get to all of those. Like, I didn't ever saw Venom. Even though that's not Marvel.
You're lucky.
I still wanted to,
that was probably the worst MCU movie I've ever seen.
Wow, that's I'm the post-credit scene, but
the only part of that was the post-credit scene from my
right.
It was could have been done better.
And
it was
the way my brain is going to work is nothing before that time jump or dimension jump is canon to MCU, because I can't let that movie be a part of the MCU. That's I can't do that.
I wasn't a big fan of Venom, the first one, because I don't like it how the story, because
I was okay with Spider-Man. Lukewarm with it. But I don't think he deserves a movie. No,
I want to see I want to see a badass Venom. You know what I mean? I want to see him, and I want to see it incorporated with Spider-Man. I want, I don't know. I just want to see.
Yeah, I mean, I want him to be a true nemesis to Spider-Man, not an anti-hero.
Yeah,
and I know that has its comic base, and everything. But my ideal Venom, when I think of Venom, is villain, not anti-hero. So,
the villain, it was a couple of years in the 90s, and now he is
right.
He is the anti-hero, because he saved the world in the comic book with the symbiote of King Kroll, which is bad, and all the symbionts, and his son is Dylan.
Yeah, and they did
his son Dylan now is Venom.
Yeah, and they did the Agent Venom, and I don't dislike that. But just when I think of my ideal representation of Venom, it was the early years when he was a villain.
It was the Todd McFarlane's
version
of Venom is the Venom that I like. And
the 1994 animated series Venom.
Right.
That animated series for Spider-Man is outstanding.
You can watch on Disney.
Yeah, and it still holds up.
Yeah. Speaking of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Guys, I'm just gonna say this right now. I do not know what to expect. I really don't. Other than it's gonna be a mind trip.
Expect to be entertained. That's what I told somebody at work, because he's somebody at work's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go see it. He goes, I'm not into that. I really don't like it. I don't think it's gonna be that good. And then I'm like,
No, I think it's gonna be good. But I have a weird suspicion, or a fear, more or less, is that it might just be too much. There might be too much going on in this movie. Does anybody know a runtime? How long is it?
It's like 2.5 hours almost.
Yeah.
So the Eternals was that.
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna have to save. He's not gonna. There's gonna be the they have all these guys coming in from this multiverse kind of stuff happening, and then I believe that's how him and Strange butt heads, because they have to die, and he doesn't want those guys to die, and that is what is the perplexity of this.
That's what it seems like from the trailer.
That's what it seems like. I could be wrong.
Marvel's notorious now, Disney, for putting red herrings in their trailers. Yeah. Right. Which I'll love that, because I want to go into it and have no idea what the actual story is. Other than the obvious, what we know.
I don't want to know. I just want to be entertained. I just want to be entertained because of the promotion vehicle of Spider-Man. And if you don't like Spider-Man, you're a communist in my eyes. No, I mean Spider-Man is the iconic Marvel character. It's the biggest Marvel character of all time. You know, I believe it's bigger than Superman.
I do too.
I've always thought that.
I think Superman was for a certain generation, and then Spider-Man was for the next.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think Spider-Man is bigger than Batman.
Yeah, especially nowadays. You know, Batman had his time at one point, but there's just something about Spider-Man and, you know, the basis of him as a teenager, even though he's not anymore, but, you know, the regular telling of him taking on all that responsibility and great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, it's a little more relatable. Not only that, like, they did a good job not only with, you know, the MCU movie, but also you have Spidey and Friends. Like my son is a 3-year-old, watches that, loves it, loves Spider-Man with like Ghost Spider and another
Miles Morales.
But I think they made Doc Ock a female. You know how that's, you know, it is what it is. But like,
they did that in Spider-Verse too.
Okay.
They also Doc Ock was actually Spider-Man, and it's a superior Spider-Man.
That's an excellent story.
Which was a 31-issue comic series, which I have because he changes bodies. He changes bodies to Parker.
We got another one coming. What do we got? Okay.
Yeah.
Now he doesn't have the spider legs, which kills me. Fucking kills me. But anyway. Yeah, I'm excited, man. And to maybe give you a little bit to quell your fears a little bit, I was watching a few non-spoiler reviews because the press was allowed to put their reviews out yesterday. And quite a few people said as overstuffed as the trailers make it seem, it's not. They said it's not, you know, an amazing
time to establish the story, and it's
you know, and they said it's not a Spider-Man 3 all over again. And now I wouldn't be shocked either because Marvel does this a lot. This is a pattern I've noticed, or Disney with their Marvel movies, where, you know, they have a character that you see in a lot of promotional stuff and sometimes even a big name actor, and then it's like a glorified cameo almost. Like when Frank Grillo came back to play Crossbones in Civil War, you know, he was out in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then Thomas Kretschmann, I think is how you say his name. He was in the post-credit scene for Winter Soldier. He was the scientist doing experiments on Quicksilver and Wanda.
Oh, okay.
And he was in the trailer for Age of Ultron. He was playing Baron von Strucker.
Yes.
And he was only in the movie for like 10 minutes. Like, so they have a history of, you know, you think these characters are going to be a big part of the movie, and then they're not. And I don't think that's going to be most of them. I think they're all going to have their story to tell. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if Jamie Foxx's Electro wasn't in this movie a lot. But then you see him at the end, or what seems to be the end battle, when they have that big shot of them like flying through the air at each other. So it's tough to say, but yeah, it's gonna, you know, Peter Parker is gonna be the friendly multiverse Spider-Man, and yeah, there's just so much footage, and knowing the runtime, there's going to be so much in between time where
Venom's going to be on. Venom's going to make an appearance.
I hope so, even though I don't like that version of Venom.
But Venom's going to be tagged up with all the villains.
Well, I'm wondering.
Just my guess. That's
it. Wouldn't shock me, you know.
But he'll turn and tag up with Parker, but maybe not, because they still need that. They need that stuff for a while.
I mean, plus you got the worst kept secret that hasn't been confirmed, but you know, that Toby and Andrew are coming back also.
Right.
And there's this. It could be, but the scene that I referenced.
I thought Toby was confirmed. Maybe
no, they never confirmed him.
None of them are.
Okay.
Because I think they tag up with him because in the preview and the trailers that I've seen, or some kind of still footage.
Yeah.
We're fighting at the Statue of Liberty, and he's fighting it against people, and the Lizard is fighting it against probably Garfield Spider-Man, but they blocked them out.
So yeah, they all jump at each other.
Yeah.
And Sandman and the Lizard are very clearly swinging it not Tom Holland Spider-Man, so they probably edited Toby and Andrew out, which, going into the trailer for Infinity War has the Hulk in a fight scene.
Yeah.
And they completely took that, which I don't hate. I don't hate. I don't love it.
I hate what they did to him.
I think the Hulk should have been there, but I mean them, playing with the footage is what I'm talking about.
You'll get your redemption. Only it'll be in female form.
Bruce Banner's going to be in that.
It's bullshit. Yeah. I'll get my redemption, guys, when he fights Wolverine. And they do the meeting of 181 in a MCU movie. That will be my redemption, and my comic book will skyrocket more than it is. That is the redemption that I want to see. Because or Maestro. If Maestro comes, that is my redemption. Where he just beats the fuck out of everybody and takes their skulls and drinks out of them. That's what he'll do, and that's what I want to see.
I guess I didn't finish my thought earlier. I wouldn't. No, that's why we're here, Bubba. That's why we're here. Good shit. I wouldn't be shocked to see Mysterio pop up again. I don't believe he's truly dead after Far From Home.
I don't think he is either.
Yeah. So, but they got right there in the commercial. You got 5 out of the 6 you would need to make a Sinister Six, even though Doc Ock seems to be working with Peter.
And the Vulture's got to be somewhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do there, because he was in the Morbius trailer,
which that movie should have been out already due to COVID.
Yeah,
that's why. So
I don't know what they're.
That's an interesting movie to me. I know nothing about, but it looked kind of cool. I'd see that.
I'd put it on the same level with Venom. I'm not excited for it, but I'll go see it, and maybe it'll surprise me.
He's an anti-hero, but the thing is, gentlemen, all these anti-heroes will be tagging up with Blade, because Blade, they're going to do the Midnight Suns kind of storyline, and Ghost Rider will be coming, and Blade, and a Moon Knight TV show, which is supposedly the most violent one out of all the MCU, but
which is fitting, and I like that.
Oh, Craig's like, speaking of Wolverine, do you guys remember when Magneto pulled the wolf's anaemium out of his body in the comics? I do remember that, because I have that comic, and and it's never been done in a movie, I don't believe. But never.
No, they in the first X-Men, they had the run in on the train where he lifts them up into the air and starts bending his claws apart and stuff like that. But he doesn't rip the adamantium out of his body.
No, but that could happen. But they got to hire. We'll see him in the Doc Strange movie.
Let me ask you something. At what point and how do you think we're ever going to see? And maybe we won't. I don't know. We have to at some point. But when are we going to see Wolverine, and how do you think that would be incorporated? You know what I mean? Because nothing on the horizon reminds me of like it just doesn't seem like they could bring him in at any point in time. Not anytime soon.
They don't do it anytime soon, and they do it as almost a replacement for the Avengers.
He's already there, but we haven't seen him yet.
I think once the Avengers kind of cools down, because we already are moving into a new generation of Avengers, I think X-Men takes the front place as the team-up movies in the MCU. I think they want to give it a lot of cool down time from the Fox X-Men movies.
That last one's the worst. That last one is the worst one.
Well, what about Fantastic Four?
Well, they already have. It's in production, and they're working on casting it now. And I don't know if this is fully confirmed, but they were talking about, originally it was going to be the guy that directed the Ant-Man movies to come on, Peyton Reed.
Right.
And then there was talk of the guy doing the Spider-Man, the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, John Watts, to come on, which either of those seem like they would be fitting. I think more so Peyton Reed, because you look at all the science stuff in the Ant-Man movies.
Yeah.
That just fits.
Well, do you think that they might be the small glimmer of Ant-Man in Quantumania, a little bit of something, because that's 2 years down the road?
Possibly. I mean, it's about 1 year now almost.
But it has
We're almost in 2022.
I'll be 60 years old, and then the fucking Fantastic Four finally gets a movie. Come on.
Well, Kang was an adversary of Fantastic Four, and one of his variants, if you want to use the MCU terminology, is a descendant of Mr. Fantastic. But I think Fantastic Four is tentatively supposed to be like 2024.
Okay. I always loved the Thing.
Yeah.
I always really liked him.
Who doesn't? He never could.
And there's a lot of people that just bash the movies and say, why would they do that again? But it's people that aren't paying attention
because they didn't get it right. That's
Disney
why.
Marvel Studios hasn't had their turn at bat with Fantastic Four. They've made Shang-Chi work. They've made Guardians of the Galaxy work. Like, they
made the Eternals work.
Right. Absolutely. Love that movie. Ant-Man. 2 successful Ant-Man movies. They haven't had a movie that was a bomb.
Nothing's failed. Nothing has failed.
Yeah. You could say Eternals money-wise, but this being in a pandemic right now completely changes all that too, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So
when you got to buy a hot dog for $35 now when you go out.
There's two people, in God we trust. That there's 2 people for me with that. Bill Belichick and Kevin Feige. Whatever decisions those 2 men make, I tend to just say, all right, I'm along for the ride.
I got nothing to say.
Bubba is a big Tomlin believer, so
the standard. Here we go. The standard is the standard.
The bullshit is the bullshit.
The standard is not scoring in the first half. No, and we would never ever come up with that offensive ploy with the weather, and we would not run the ball. We would not throw just 3 times a game. And Tomlin, it fucks me off. Tomlin doesn't. He doesn't. He's ready. I'm ready for him to go. I've been ready for years. I'm not bashful about it. But you had 1 right. But for you, it's 2 because he knows how to coach, and he just gets stuff out of people that Tomlin can't do. He's not raw coach. They're not on Twitter on fucking up in New England,
Right. But anything Kevin Feige wants to do to this point, he hasn't done anything to lose my trust. So I'm all MCU. Like, that's what I was, saying. I think we talked about wrestling the one time. I have so many interests, but Gary, you, as long as you've known me, you know this. I have like a borderline obsessive with the things I'm into. So I can't focus on a lot of things at one time. So now the football season's in, I just kind of, wrestling has taken a back seat at the moment, and it's either football or MCU. Like, I'm just constantly
manage your time with the entertainment, and you just that's how I
do. I mean for me it's
hard for you.
It's Steelers. No matter what, I do the best I like. There's very few things. I get really upset when family schedules stuff over Steeler games. It really just
I get fucking upset. I got to go to work this week. It's fucking bullshit.
Oh, well, we know the outcome of this game then.
I know. I'm like 2 for 80.
But then I then at wrestling I try to AEW. I try to make an attempt to watch at least Dynamite. WWE's really taking a backseat, and it kills me to say that.
I watch everything because we do this show. And I like to be knowledgeable on that stuff because then I throw out more Steelers stuff on my personal Facebook page and a lot of wrestling stuff. Not too much comic book stuff because it's my personal page. But I do get people that whatever, Yeah, Craig. They should let Ben call his own plays.
Well, yes. Don't be. I'm telling you, I'm not going to be surprised if they, he's doing that. He has 4 games left.
I know, and it's going to be.
He's going to do what he wants to do.
He's going to do whatever the hell he wants. He's going to go huddle. He's going to do it all, like whatever the hell he wants. And then that's it. But here's the funny thing, and they made a good point on the radio this morning or this afternoon that what if Ben, right, comes out, does whatever the hell he wants, and they, by the grace of God, make it into the playoffs.
I mean, they're not out. They're not that far out.
They're not in,
they're
not out.
This is
any given Sunday.
That AFC, the whole AFC
crazy.
has been weak. The whole AFC has been weak.
It's just baffling.
I mean,
they're only one game behind the NFC. I don't know if it's a week or if it's just even. You know, like I don't know if week is the right word, but it's definitely gridlocked. Like it's the closest. Like and this is what the NFL's wanted for years. You know,
for sure.
As a spectator, it's not terrible, other than especially the games that don't really affect you. Like this last 2 weeks of the season are going to be insane, and especially the last week.
This last month has been crucial because if we had a split, even if we would have split, it'd be a different thing. We would be, where are we at? We would be 8. We'd be number 1 in the division. Like this last game and the Detroit, that tie has fucked us, and it's fucked us bad. And Jeremy said he agrees 100%. Let Ben call his plays and let him go out with a bang. Yes, Jeremy, I would like to see him go out with a bang. And there was the bang right there. The time.
We're at time, but I got a question for you.
That's okay.
Real quick. Would you take a playoff going into playoffs, or would you take the first round pick? If they didn't lose the 4 games and would you take the draft pick, or would you
we're not getting
would you sacrifice that to get in the playoffs?
We're not getting Kenny Pickett because someone will take him.
No, I know we're not, but
we're not getting him. I would love to get him. I would love to see Ben win one playoff game and then go another one and see where it goes and go out because him sitting on the bench with Marquise was not a good sight. That wasn't good. And
sad.
It's very sad because we had him, but also too, Tomlin had him and didn't use him properly. And I don't know what happened. And I'm just, the standard is not the standard when you go.
Who didn't they use properly? Ben? Is that what you said?
They didn't use
talent in general.
The talent around Ben, they didn't use properly to get him over the hump, and they didn't lose focus. And when Paul Alexander, because I was on Paul Alexander's show real quick, and he did agree with me, that was the end of Tomlin right there when AB had that thing at Kansas City with the Facebook Live. That was the start of the end right there, and he did agree with me. So
I mean, imagine if a different coach had that same roster. Yeah, like not any coach, but Belichick. Imagine if he had that.
Like I said, I know we're at time here, but I think to me, they sacrificed getting too many weapons for Ben, and they haven't focused on offensive line. The defense is going to be. I mean, needless to say, they weren't expecting all those guys to be done at the same time. However, there's other defensive and offensive line issues that they could have probably used.
They have so many needs right now.
But year after year, we're just trying to get Ben that tall receiver he wanted, trying to get Ben that tight end to replace Heath Miller. You know what I mean?
That tight end is here.
They got
that
it.
Tight end is here, and that running back is here. It's too late.
Yeah,
but also too.
Freiermuth, I think is going to be great, but again, as I text you guys, that's one thing. But once again, you can't.
That was a great defensive play, though. He had the ball, and that was a play that bounced. There was nobody. There was 3-on-1. That was just a mill.
Can't trust the Penn Stater.
Fuck you, good guy.
You just can't.
That should never. But also too, that should have never came down to that. And our first halves are terrible, and we have teams running all over us, and that should not ever happen. This Steeler defense is the worst defense, even with TJ Watt. It's not good.
Yep.
But he doesn't even play.
And real quick, the Browns have 11 people out on the COVID list, including their quarterback and coach. So that'll be an interesting scenario for them.
That's going to be interesting if we can beat the Titans, and we can beat the Titans. And I'll talk about that when I do my Steeler thing here this week. If you guys want to jump on like last time, that was pretty good. But yeah, and I just want to say before we get off that we are ranked. What are we ranked? 100 and some podcasts.
79 or something.
Yeah, I don't know how we did it, but
on
thank you
iTunes.
for listening.
Very
We're on
cool.
iTunes, 179.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Entertainment news.
Thank you.
And thanks, guys, and for you two guys doing a great job this year, doing everything you guys do. And I want to say that if you two have you seen the fucking Pat McAfee? I know you're like, Bubba, quit talking. I fucking cried my eyes out.
It was awesome.
Bubba has a hard on for Pat McAfee
I love Pat
promo.
McAfee.
Oh, I mean, I've been listening to him for years. He does have a hell of a show.
He's great.
I mean,
he's great.
I want to drink a beer
well,
with
well
him.
deserved.
I don't know how we're gonna do it, but you know,
he's living the dream, but he already had a leg up on that. So
yes, exactly. So
I know he has, but that inspires me.
One more thing, and then we're done. So,
Okay.
Craig asked you a question, Cable. You go ahead and answer it, and we will be done.
All right. No. As much as I would like to say it is, no. My name is inspired by Bubba because he is basically dyslexic, and he didn't know how to pronounce my name when we first met. So he just said Cable because that was easier.
Has you never met a Caleb before?
But
I think he knows it now.
I know it, Caleb. Yeah, I did it when we did the radio. But
I know, Bubba.
For him, I mean.
Well, Cable is still a Marvel character, and that's how I got it. So.
Oh, I got a Cable up there somewhere, but yep, that's
All
it.
right, gentlemen.
It's thanks to Bubba, like usual.
Yep, I try. But thanks for listening, everybody.
Yes.
I'll let Mav take us out because we're over on time, and me and Cable always get bitched at.
And we got to pay Mav after the show ends when we go over.
Yeah, every minute that we go over, they gotta send $5 my way. So, Venmo, guys, Venmo.
I don't know if you can see this, but my pockets are empty. I don't got anything, so we got to get off of here.
If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do. Please do.
Yep. Keep a lookout. We're going to be doing the year-end awards, as we call it. We don't exactly know what that's going to look like yet. There's a lot of debate around it, but
bunch of bullshit is what it looks like.
It'll be the first of the year. But Cable, I'm sorry, you do not get your own category. But anyway.
Let's vote. So I say yes.
It'll be the first of the year, probably. We'll see what we're going to do.
Listen to Spotify. Listen to us on Spotify.
Next week, hopefully we can squeak one in. I don't know what life's going to be like next week. It's busy, the stretch to Christmas, but we will see what we can do. We definitely want to talk Spider-Man
and Hawkeye.
And the final Hawkeye. So we're going to do our best.
Well, if we don't get in, it's Merry Christmas. And if we get in, it'll be another Merry Christmas. So we'll see. Spotify, YouTube.
We're trying to get in, even if it's a little bit late. We're trying to get it in.
That's fine. So. I'm off all next week. Yay.
Nice. I'm off the following.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, same here.
So, but anyway.
All right, thanks, guys.
It's been fun. We'll see you next time.
Later.